The prophets of doom have said that there's been obviously a knock-on effect from the disappointments of last season onto our season ticket sales, that they're way below anything that we've ever seen before. They're the lowest that they've been probably since we were relegated. What can you clarify exactly what's happened there?
You know, we don't publish commercial figures like that about how many season ticket goals we've got. We've been delighted with the numbers we've got. They're better than everyone thinks. I'm not going to say we've equalled and we're better than last year, because we're not. We are down, but we're not down a lot. And I thoroughly expect that to pick up and get back to where we were by the end of the transfer window over the next couple of games, because people can start seeing some positive results, starting with the win at Inverness. Hallelujah. We've actually broken that hoodoo. And we start here and we progress forward, so I expect those numbers to pick up.
In terms of retail as well, we've obviously launched the new home shirt. It's quite a bold design as well, a new interpretation of the traditional kind of Hibernian colours, and also the reintroduction of the black away kit as well. How well have they been received in terms of sales?
The home kit, despite being a bit spiky in terms of challenging supporters' perceptions of what a home kit should look like, and we had a lot of correspondence and engaged with a lot of supporters on that, it's our fastest selling kit in the last few years, and it's selling very well. The last month's been a record month, even given everything that's been happening on and off the pitch. It was fantastic, July. I'm delighted with that. The black kit is yet to be seen in terms of the playing staff, and hopefully we'll play in that against Sunderland, and that'll help pick those sales up. But both kits have been very well received in terms of sales, and the majority of supporters have loved them. It's something different.
Obviously, we've touched on the commercial responsibilities of your role, and also these ticket sales, and also retail as well. Another aspect, of course, is communications. Perhaps a major talking point of the summer was the speculation surrounding the future of the manager. For the benefit of our viewers, they've obviously read a lot, they've seen a lot. Can you clarify exactly the sequence of events, what actually happened, and why, did the club act the way that they did towards the various rumours?
Our policy always has been and always will be that we don't comment on speculation. The close season generates an awful lot of silly speculation, and I would spend all my time, and you would spend all your time, dealing with that speculation, and we simply can't do that. A couple of clubs down south, as we know, approached us to speak to our manager. He's our manager, we want him as our manager, and he will continue to be our manager. We rejected those approaches. That's basically what happened within the club. The manager went back to work, we went back to work, we carry on business as usual, the players are back to work. What happens in the empty void of a close season is that the media and the other clubs keep that story alive. It's very frustrating, upsetting in many cases for supporters, and we just have to kind of calm the nerves and steady the ship through those storms. But in terms of how it affected business in the club, very, very minimal at all.
I mean, obviously, in terms of the way that the team prepared, there was no impact whatsoever. But in terms of perhaps the perception of the supporters towards the manager and the club, surely that must have been slightly concerning and worrying. Is that why the chairman in particular issued a statement to try and clarify our stance?
No, I think we need to come out on occasion and quell speculation and tell the truth of what is actually going on. A lot of stuff just gets whipped up on message boards, it gets whipped up in the media, and is just so far off the beam it's a joke. So we do need to come out and just manage our own and supporters' expectations as to what is actually going on. We know what's going on, we can communicate a lot of that sometimes, and sometimes we can't, and we're not going to make any apologies for not being able to do that. We will try to, and moving forward, communicate more openly. I do think we communicate openly, and we're very accessible anyway as a board and as an executive team and as a club, but we will try and increase that. You'll see Scott more giving some updates from HTC, and you'll see me more, whether you like it or not, giving you some updates from the club, and also face to face with the forums and on match days, and through hopefully a good solid response from this research questionnaire we're going to launch.
Obviously it's important that we engage with as wide an audience as possible. We've obviously got a sizable amount of subscribers to Hibernian TV, but we've obviously opened up, especially for these executive interviews with yourself and Scott Lindsay as well, to the YouTube audience. How important do you feel it is to try and get the message out there?
No, it's vital. We need to look at every channel that we've got. As you know, we're looking at other avenues in social media. I think the YouTube channel's gone down very well. We're looking at Facebook and the merits and pros and cons of looking at that channel. I think Twitter's another route that we should look at. But it needs to be managed properly, it needs to be managed professionally, it needs to be managed that we can manage it with the small team that we've got in here. So there's a lot of considerations internally as well as externally about how we communicate, but the wider audience we can communicate to, the better, of course.
In terms of engaging with supporters, obviously you deal with a lot directly.
Yes.
Supporter feedback, which is perhaps quite rare. It's very rare for perhaps a managing director to actually start tapping out the emails to disgruntled fans or fans that are asking certain questions.
Yeah.
For the benefit of our viewers, I mean, how difficult has that been when the team has perhaps not been performing to?
No, there's a direct correlation between the team not performing and my inbox and phone call schedule. It's as simple and straightforward as that. And that's sport, that's football, and that's the business we're in. We're never going to hide. I'm always going to take a call, I'm always going to take an email, and I'll always answer as much as I can within the time frame and limits I've got. You know, we've got very busy jobs to get on with. But I would never want any supporter to think that we don't pay them attention or we don't respond to any queries they've got. That's why I do spend so much time on support services and support communication. It's not a chore, it's something that I gain some sort of feedback and some sort of positive thing because there's passion there, and what we're trying to do is harness that passion in a positive way and help the club move forward. So that won't change. They'll still end up speaking to me and or one of my team as quickly and as expediently as possible.
Obviously, just looking at an overview of Hibernian right now, we've obviously got a brand new stand. Well, it's 12 months old now, but it's still looking incredibly impressive. The stadium is in great fettle.
Yep.
We've got the training facility as well. It seems that everything realistically is in place now. We just need something to like the touch paper almost.
Yes.
Do you feel that if we do get it right, if we do click into place, if we do have a successful season, then we could be looking at massive crowds coming up?
I know the crowds are there, and I know we can fill the stadium. We have in the past and we will in the future. The most important thing is that we get the product right in the park, and we are completely and utterly focused, as we always have been, on ensuring that is the case. This is why we've restructured the executive team. This is why we've built so much support around the football department, and this is why we've built so much support up in the club to generate as much revenue to invest in that team. That is the goal of the club, is to put a successful team in the park. Everything else will flow from that, and we're not going to lose focus on that at all.
In terms of